Okay, I just recorded 2 songs. I might as well go ahead and do this other one because I haven't recorded it yet. I'm trying to get all these, when I learn new songs, I'm trying to get them uploaded for my daughter, for posterity. But I learned Mother and Child Reunion. I played that last time I saw Dilara on February 25th. And it was really weird because I played the video on YouTube where it's got it's like in Africa or somewhere, and it's got the mother ostrich and guarding her egg, and then the different creatures come to try to steal it, but and they have the Mother and Child Reunion playing along with that. And so when I said this song is Mother and Child Reunion, she's like, no, I don't want to see it. I don't know if she exactly said that, but I sensed some anxiety because I wonder if she thought that it might get us in trouble because this was a supervised visit. And a few months earlier on a supervised visit, when I mentioned to Dilara, when you come back home, and it's like the supervisor went, don't just, you know, like there's something, there was nothing in the court order that said I couldn't say when you come home, because the court order has, you know, the court order is so written with the expectation that she will be coming home. But that might be something her dad told the supervisor, don't let the mother mention anything about the child coming back home. So that was in November 26th when we had a new supervisor that he had, you know, given this list of instructions to, over and beyond what the court order was. And but yeah, I remember that. I remember our last visit, which went really bad. That's when I got arrested for criminal trespassing during my supervised visit that I paid $170 for. And like an hour and 15 minutes into it, and I played this Mother and Child Reunion, the video, pretty earlier, but I just wanted to share that with her. And I learned how to play it. I can play it in a couple of different keys, but I'm going to play it with the F, G, C, A. Yeah, that's because those are easy chords. F, G, C, A. A minor, A minor? I think it's A minor, just because there's like, this is an A, this is an A, this is an A, so, but just, I think it's A minor. There's like an A7 or whatever that is. It's the first string, no, this is called the 4th string. But it's the top string. For B, playing it this way, 2nd fret. So, okay, so here we go. And when I change keys, I have to like retune my ear. So. Okay. No, I would not give you false hope on this strange and mournful day, when the mother and child reunion is the only emotion away. Oh, little darling of mine, I can't for the life of me remember a Saturday. I know they say let it be, but it just don't work out that way, and the course of a lifetime runs over and over again. No, I would not give you false hope on this strange and mournful day, when the that's right. I haven't checked my words to make sure, but it's something like that. So, and I would like to say that to Dilara, that I really think Dilara will be home by Thanksgiving. And I want everybody to know that it has taken an entire year from, it's taken a year, it will have taken a year and, like a year and 2 months from the time I should have started having unsupervised visitation until the time it looks like I'm actually going to be able to, and actually I hope to have primary custody again. And that's another thing I want to make a point of, is the cat's wiggling my computer. Yeah, I never said I had custody and he didn't. I never said I have custody and he's only got visitation. When Dilara was born, he had a lawyer draw up an agreed order, joint custody. I insisted on having primary residential custody. He had 180 days of parenting time on paper. I had 185, which worked out to be I had at least 185 days a year, and he had up to 180 days a year parenting time. Even though almost the first 2 years he never had her, period, not one day. But he would visit her like 10 hours a week. He would visit her. And when we first did that order, I said, I don't want you taking her 180 days because I'm breastfeeding. I breastfeed around the clock. She needs me. And I just, you know, I didn't agree to that for the first couple of years. And he didn't want her by himself anyway. So we worked it out. We worked it out well. But he said that he didn't want to put less than 180 days down on the agreement because then he would have to pay $200 a month more in child support, which he didn't want to do. And I didn't care because I was already getting I was getting more money in child support than I was getting for when I was working part-time before I had her. So that household income, you know, it was enough. I wasn't going to quibble over $200. You know, I still didn't have a problem with that. But in Tennessee, a while back, they changed it. It's not one parent has custody and one person has only visitation. You got a presumption. It's joint custody, and that's what we've always had, joint custody, and we still have joint custody. I just don't have any parenting time days on that last custody agreement because when it was done, that no contact order between me and Dilara was in effect. Stupid. We have got to get rid of these bogus orders of protection. They're abusive. And this Friday I'm supposed to go to back in front of the judge who issued that no contact order in the first place, and I'm going to show him and prove to him that he was lied to. They perpetrated a fraud on the court. It was an injustice, and it has damaged my child. And I hope that the judge will be more careful in the future when he goes around cutting children out of their primary parents' life. I mean, I was Dilara's primary. Not only was the primary residential parent her whole life, I was the primary attachment figure. And she's close to her dad. She's always been close to her dad. And I've always nurtured their relationship. Even now, she knows I want her to love her dad, respect her dad, and be obedient to her dad. At the same time, making her wants and needs known to him. And she has been. She has been telling him she needs her mom, she wants her mom. And he's been blowing her off, just ignoring her. Which is hurtful to her, but that's how he does it. And that's how he's been doing it for 2 years. Actually 3 years, ignoring her needs and desires, her expressed needs, for 3 years, over 3 years. So, oh yeah, so, I never said, you know, when people says, oh, do you have custody? I'm like, we have joint custody. We share parenting. That was always what I said. I never said, I have custody and he only has visitation. Because that's not what you're supposed to do now. It's supposed to be joint custody. You have a primary residential parent and then the alternate residential parent. Because I guess somebody thought that sounded better. And I guess it does. Because you're still getting parent in there. Instead of saying you're just a visitor. You know, it's just semantics. But I'll tell you what. Since he lied and cheated and stole my parenting time, Sarah Rice Digby, his lawyer, I should say, she needs to lose her license, seriously. Yeah, since they changed the custody, because we had the agreed order to start with, and then when she was 5.5 and he decided she didn't need her mom anymore and took us to court, no divorce, no relocation, no material change in circumstance other than he was interfering in my educational decisions for her, which as primary residential parent, the law says typically, you know, you shouldn't contravene the primary residential parents' educational decisions unless there's like 4 conditions, and none of them were applied in our situation. So, but yeah, I think it's really tacky how I always respected him and his relationship with his daughter, and I never said he's just a visitor in her life. Even though that the first couple of years that he was a visitor, when she was like almost, I guess she was like 20 months old. From the time she was born until she was about 20 months old, he would come to my house, which was, a lot of people wouldn't do that. A lot of people wouldn't, because he dumped me halfway through my pregnancy. And I just had, you know, he didn't like me, and it wasn't comfortable. I really had to, I thought I was being very accommodating by letting him come to my house and try to make it easy for him, because I wanted to make it easy for him to be in our daughter's life. And but I know a lot of people would not have done what I did, but I don't have any regrets. I think it was the best thing for my daughter. And I did when she got older, I did stop him. Yeah, when she started spending the night with him, I quit letting him come to my house. We had some issues, so I just said, you know, it's going to be healthier for everybody if you just do your visiting somewhere besides on my turf. And but I never, even though I tried to put some distance between me and him, I have never put distance between him and Dilara. And in our court papers and stuff, they make these accusations that I've said things or done things to interfere with their relationship, or no, they in the court order, and it's on my Facebook group, Bring Dilara Home. I've got the actual court order, and it says, because that's one of the custody factors they're supposed to take into bear, and sometimes it's a deciding factor, is if one parent interferes with the other parent's relationship with the child, that's not good. But I've always encouraged a relationship, and as a matter of fact, I think I did a pretty good job preparing her for this, this conflict when I saw it was coming. And she's had some anger, and a lot of anger and pain and grief and stuff. But I tell her, don't blame your dad. It's not your dad's fault, because he couldn't do this. If it's his lawyer's fault, and it's the judge's fault. It's not his fault. He asked for it, but if the lawyers and judges were ethical and honest and were doing their job supporting the Constitution of the state of Tennessee and the United States, they never would have, or Sarah Rice Digby never would have taken his case. If you walk into somebody's, especially in Tennessee, when they're pretty much 50-50. Their presumption is, maximum parenting time for both parents, because I'm glad they recognize that that's important to the child. And I said that over and over in court, is Dilara needs both of us, because we give different things to her, and between the two of us, all of her needs are met, all of them, and they were very well met. She's very healthy emotionally, physically, socially. All of her needs were met before court started getting involved. But I think it's really tacky when now he acts like he has ownership of her. I have custody. She can't even go by the school and have lunch. She can't even call Dilara. She can't send her a letter, even though the order of protection's not in place, and it hasn't been in over a year between me and Dilara, that no contact order. He's the gatekeeper, and the courts are just really dragging their feet, because my unsupervised parenting time should have started first week of September in last year, and it's going to be at least the end of October this year, because the judge says we have to wait till this next trial is over for me to get my unsupervised. When she wrote her order, she said 2 months. If that goes well, then you can start unsupervised. I did my 2 months. It went well. Her dad couldn't handle the idea of, after a year of him being in total control, he was going to have to give up 8 hours a week of control of the child, and he just went nuts, and his lawyer went nuts. And the guardian had lied to him, jumped on board, and she started lying. Like she didn't lie the first time around that I know of. She didn't lie. She passed bad information, but I don't think she deliberately lied. This custody trial, she lied, and we shouldn't have a guardian ad litem anyway. My lawyer argued against having a guardian ad litem, and I did say there's abuse and neglect, but it's not me, it's him, because she's suffering, and she cannot function in her environment, and she's depressed, and she's anxious, and this has been going on ever since he cut me out of her life. And it's court-ordered abuse because the judge signed off on it. Judge Philip Robinson believed all these lies. I went in there without a lawyer. Sarah Rice Digby goes in there just as soon as she opened her mouth, lie after lie after lie. And then went from seeing my daughter every day to not seeing her at all for a year, which is very hurtful for her, which is evident in the notes of the counselor she was seeing, which is evident in the testimony of the school and the assessment of the school. That's just after last year and this year, she became violent, very, very disruptive and violent in the middle of her first grade year. And because the no contact order went into effect June 15, 2015, and in August she was already causing all kinds of problems at school. But Sarah Rice Digby comes and lies to the judge and says, oh, she's flourishing with her mother not involved in her life. Lie. And Dilara, poor Dilara, this is in